Do you ever feel like you don't have enough time? And no matter what you do, your work just keeps stretching endlessly. You barely get time to work out, you don't spend time with your family, you're not able to take care of your nutrition, and even if you're successful from a professional standpoint, you start to wonder if any of this is worth it. If that sounds like you, then this video might be for you because I have been in the exact same space multiple times in my career. Now, before I get into the flesh of this video, I'll start with a story from 2023. I run my own business and I don't have a co founder. Plus, the team that I work with also works for me remotely. So, my work life can become a little lonely at times. And as humans, we need some social interaction, right? It's written in us to have social interactions. So, what I did to solve the problem was that I joined a co working space and my productivity shot up massively. The energy was great, the place was great, and being surrounded by so many people who were working hard on their craft made me want to work harder on my craft. But it also came with a little bit of a problem, a big problem. I found myself spending way too much time at work. And I'm not talking about those long, necessary days where you just have a lot to do. I'm talking random Tuesdays where I'd be skipping dinner with the family, skipping my workouts, and being at my desk till almost midnight. So I figured that maybe I need to expand my team. Maybe I need to take certain tasks and I need to delegate them. And I did that. And it did help a little bit. But by the end of it, even though I objectively had lesser things to do, I was still spending the same amount of time at work. And it didn't make any logical sense because if I have less things to do, I should take lesser time. But that just wasn't happening. And that's when I realized that the problem was not how much I had to do, but the way that I was structuring my day to do all the things that I need to. Parkinson's law is simple: work expands to fill the time that you give it. And that's exactly what happened. It didn't matter if I had 4 hours of work or 10 hours. It would stretch out to the entirety of the day because I was giving myself the entire day to do it. And here's the embarrassing part, and I don't even want to say this on camera, but I know there were days where I didn't have any focus while working, so I was taking longer than I should have. And I was scrolling social media between tasks because it was an easy day. So even though I had lesser things to do, I was still spending the same amount of time doing them. So that's when I tried to find a little bit of a hardline approach towards this. I stopped taking my laptop charger to work. This meant that my workday was literally limited by the amount of charge that was there on my devices. When I started this, I was stressed as fuck. Because what if I just had a very long day? What if I had too many things on my to do list? What if my to do list is empty by the end of the day? And what if I'm in the middle of something important and that's still left to do and I run out of charge? And all of these were very legitimate concerns that I had. I decided to try it out for a couple of weeks. If it works, great. If it doesn't, I can always stop doing it. But something very interesting happened. I realized that I wasn't just better at focusing more at work and being more efficient with my time, but I also became damn good at prioritizing my tasks. So even if my laptop or my devices did run out of charge, I still had finished all the important stuff, and anything that would be left would be the non-important stuff that I could afford to push to a second day. Now, my example is just that. It's an example. It's not something that I think everyone can do, but that's why I don't want you to focus on the method. I want you to focus on the principle of this. The point is that you're supposed to, and you should ideally set a deadline to do the things that you're supposed to do, or you should allocate an appropriate amount of time to doing them. Because if you don't, it will just stretch out to fill whatever time you have on your hands, which in most cases also means that you'll have to give up on a lot of stuff that you don't want to give up on. So if you constantly feel like you're running out of time on the daily and you can't pinpoint a very logical reason as to why this is happening, then I want you to ask yourself two things. Are there any tasks that I could delegate, shorten, or eliminate completely? In essence, I want you to get better at prioritizing and picking your battles. Now, there are many models that you'll find online that can help you get better at prioritizing. In fact, the urgency and importance matrix is one of the most common ones that you'll ever see online. But truth be told, you don't even need a model to prioritize well. Just look at everything that you're doing in a day and really ask yourself, like, should you be doing this in the first place? All you need is a little bit of self-awareness and you'll get better at prioritizing as time goes by. But then again, if a model like the urgency importance matrix helps you out, feel free to use any that you like. And second, are we really working with focus or are we just there? As humans, we're very good at lying to ourselves. We think we're doing something and we say that we're doing our best, but in most cases, there's always a little more that we can do. So, the best way to find out whether or not you're working with focus is that I want you to maintain a time log of sorts for an entire week, from Monday to Sunday. And I want you to map out everything that you're doing down to the last hour. You can either do this at the end of the day, or you can keep a diary next to you and keep noting down things as the hours go by. And I want you to be brutally honest with yourself, no excuses. If you end up wasting 30 minutes on reels because someone sent you something and then you went down the scrolling rabbit hole, I want you to write it down. 30 minutes wasted on reels. What this does is that it sort of helps you collect all the relevant data that you need to really look at things and be like, wait, am I really working with focus, or are there things that I need to cut out? And once you identify things that are just weighing you down or dead weight in your schedule, you can always either cut them out, or if there's simply distractions that you can't say no to, you can try and work on cutting out those distractions. A simple example of this is if you're someone who tends to scroll a lot on social media, but you mostly work on your laptop. Just keep your phone in your bag, keep it in the locker, keep it in your car while you're working. You can go back and check it out every now and then if you think that's important. But this, for the most part, is going to help you stay a little more focused. Once you answer both of those questions, I want you to set leaner deadlines for yourself. Best case scenario, it motivates you and pushes you to finish your work in time. Worst case scenario, you exceed that time limit by a little bit. But either way, you'll still be faster than you were, which in my opinion is a win. Understanding and applying this law to the best of your ability can literally be the solution to not being old and bitter, where all you did was work and you neglected every other area of your life. You can literally have a more fulfilling life because now you can switch off from work and divert some of your attention and hours to everything else that matters too. But see, none of this works unless and until you have a way to be more mindful and more focused when it comes to the amount of hours that you're spending at work. And that, in and of itself, is a skill issue, or it could even be an environmental issue, both of which we discussed in a previous video, which I think was the one right before this. I'll probably make it flash somewhere on the screen so you can go check it out. Now, unlike a bunch of creators, I don't want to get into topics like 3 ways to improve your focus or how to be more focused at work, because all of those things are already there. A quick Google search is going to give you what you need. And in most cases, if you want to improve your focus, it's just a 2-step process. You try focusing more and you do that repeatedly till it becomes second nature. And second, you also cut out distractions. It's not that hard. It's just something that requires persistence and practice, at least for most people. That's all I have for this video. And if this video helped you in any way, do consider sharing this with a friend. Because while we do have quite the community on Instagram, it's word of mouth that will really help this channel grow. I hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next.